Now, I woke up this morning, guys. I feel a little bit shy for some reason. Like I stretch. You guys know how you stretch, look in the mirror, flex a little bit. Like, you know what? Summer coming, my body. Maybe need to lift a little bit more. I was like, I need to lift a little bit more. Scrolling through Twitter after you flex in the mirror a little bit, feel handsome, like start making your tea or making your oatmeals with berries and raspberries and all that. You even add some kiwi there for digestion. And then I started to think about the Hamza and the Strickland fight. And I started to think about, where did I go wrong in my prediction? Was it counting out the man that on paper should have had no chance of winning? But what paper was I reading when I said on paper? Fights are never set in stone, guys. And with Hamza Chimaev Strickland, was there things I was intentionally ignoring that could have been important? Like, I think, was I taking too much stock about how Hamza submitted him multiple times in sparring, and Hamza objectively just way better, and Hamza Chimaev should never go in there and get embarrassed by Strickland, or even have a close fight that ends in split decision against Strickland, who also had a shoulder injury. I know Hamza had a horrible weight cut and all that, but it's a fight at the end of the day. It's not the first time I've done this, guys. Sean Strickland, Israel Adesanya, like, objectively going into that fight, Izzy coming off a win against Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira, knocking him out cold from a counterpunching style. Sean Strickland comes forward. Seems like sometimes he could be open to a counterpunch. And then Sean Strickland nearly 50-45s him. He wins 49-46. Now, it brings me to Ilia Topuria, Justin Gaethje. Now, objectively, how do I look at this fight? Probably how you would know, hairline in the background looking at the fight. We probably think, yeah, man, I know, man. We think Justin Gaethje might die in there. And, like, honestly, it's true, guys. I don't know if you know how sloppy and ugly and disgusting and demoralizing and objectifying that fight against Paddy Pimblett looked. Like, seeing him and Paddy Pimblett just, like, slide and slip around that octagon all gross and just horrible in skill. I thought to myself that second, like, don't book the fight with Ilia Topuria. It's illegal. Topuria going to go in there and tap him on the head. He's gonna put him out cold. Especially given how Topuria looked in the Charles Oliveira fight. Charles Oliveira, like, just goes in there and nearly dies. And now Charles is still looking good against some top competition like Max Holloway today. Now, why did I wake up and after I drank my drink, pondered everything, I started to think, you know what? Justin Gaethje can do it. Now it's hard to say this with a straight face or like say this without like a little bit smile, but I always smile, but guys, Justin Gaethje, even though he should have no chance against Ilia Topuria is going into this fight with the intent if he's going to go in there, he's going to sleep Justin Gaethje. But I started thinking about previous Justin Gaethje fights, not the Paddy Pimblett fight, because that fight, Justin Gaethje said the following: I didn't want to throw a low kick at him because I was afraid of his wrestling. Now, for some reason, Paddy Pimblett must have intimidating ground game. I don't know. And I was like, he didn't throw a kick. I looked back at a fight where I also thought Justin Gaethje had no chance of winning, and it was a Khabib Nurmagomedov fight. Now, I don't know if people remember, that's arguably one of the only rounds Khabib lost. I still think Khabib won that round looking back at it, but it's one of those arguable rounds that people go back and forth, oh, this could be the round Khabib lost. Now, he was blasting low kicks against Khabib and running away. He was boom and running. He was hitting him with the low kicks, and he was out. And that's what he was supposed to do. But it led me to believe something about Justin Gaethje. Like, I know we watched the Ilia Topuria Charles fight, Ilia Topuria versus Charles, and we saw that Charles went in there and fought like Charles. Like, Charles went in there and just ran at him. Justin Gaethje isn't quite special needs. like on paper, he's a bit special, but he's not as special as Charles, who's like, I think he doesn't wear contacts and can't see or something, so he just runs at people full strength and in hopes that he could like overwhelm them and wrestle. But that just wasn't smart against Ilia Topuria. Now, Justin Gaethje isn't going to fight like that, and it makes the fight more interesting. Now, there was a part of me saying Ilia Topuria first round knockout. I could say this confidently. Ilia's not going to win in the first round. He won't. There's no chance, matter of fact. I could say it that confidently. And the reason I'm confident in saying that is because I know Justin Gaethje is a bit smart when it comes to fighting somebody who's a threat in front of him. He's not going to just give you a chance to just take him down and like, or give you a chance to just trade with him. He's not that stupid. He's that stupid if it's 5 seconds left and Max Holloway points at the ground. He's that dumb for that instance, but not against Ilia Topuria, he will start fast if you let him. Ilia Topuria is not known for starting fast, but the fights that he didn't start fast wasn't because he didn't want to. Like, he'll start fast against Charles, but why didn't he start fast against Volk or start fast against Max Holloway? It's because they were sticking and moving. They weren't making him an easy target. Like, they weren't, listen, if you're going to land on me, you got to actually catch me. Now, the big basis here is that Ilia Topuria is a fundamental boxer. What does that mean? He's heavy on his front leg. Now, we just watched, of course, JDM versus Carlos Prates. We even watched Islam versus JDM. Now, I know I'm picking on JDM's ugly ass a little bit. Yeah! Can he stop, dude? I bet time someone like, dude, can you be too mean? Like, listen, man. Listen to my point. That boxing style, and I've always said to beat Ilia, you need to break the foundation of his boxing, you know? And that starts with the front leg. Ilia is very heavy on the front leg, and unironically, no one really has prioritized destroying that front leg against Ilia like the way they should. Like Volkanovski, he had some low kicks, but Volkanovski was doing his best work, I feel like, when he was jabbing and sticking his chin in the air like, yeah, man, you can't touch me. Folks started getting all cocky. Nah. And he got slapped. You know, like, dude, everyone does something different against Ilia, but I haven't really seen anyone with a fight style with the foundation of a low kick that's as powerful as Justin Gaethje. Now, this is where a little bit problems start to commence, and I will make a stylistic breakdown on this a little bit closer when the fight happens. So I'm not going to do that right now. I just want to put the image in your head real quick, guys, of when you break down a boxer, they almost have fundamentally nothing left for you. And that does start with the low kick. And it just happens to be that Justin Gaethje kind of like throws everything into his low kicks, and he has crippled people from doing so. Now, the funny thing about the Khabib fight, people don't know, Khabib was literally on his last leg. Like I remember Khabib got kicked one last time, and then that's when he was like, you know what, fuck this. And he like went for a takedown that he just full sent, and he got him on the ground. That was Khabib's escape. If Khabib was uncomfortable, he was confident enough to shoot a takedown, even if it was telegraphed and a bit sloppy. He can shoot that takedown, and he could grab a hold of Justin and maybe control him. And after that, thankfully, he was able to finish Justin Gaethje. Now, Ilia Topuria can wrestle, but let's be real, guys. If Ilia Topuria gets the foundation of his leg broken and his boxing kind of goes to shit, and he can't put any weight on that front leg, you don't actually see Ilia switch stances a lot comfortably and unleash combos the same way he unleashed it in his regular stance. So that's where a little bit of problem for me, personally, I think start to commence. Justin Gaethje can really start firing at Ilia Topuria's low leg, you know, and that can make Ilia Topuria want to switch stances. But similar to JDM is actually a switch stance fighter, and we've seen that when Carlos Prates took away his front leg and he was forced into orthodox, he kind of looked uncomfortable and didn't let his hands go. That's what it happens, bro, because when you have your foundation broken, you switch to a stance you're not inclined of switching to usually, you feel less comfortable letting your hands go. Why? Because it leaves openings for you to get countered, not just by the leg kicks, but in the punching. Now, Justin Gaethje hits hard. Khabib Nurmagomedov himself has said that Justin Gaethje is probably the hardest hitter, period, he's went against. Same with Charles. Same with Dustin. There's like a common occurrence I'm starting to notice about everyone who fights Gaethje. The thing they all say that they can relate to the most is that he hits like a truck. And it's not just his hands, it's everything, specifically those low kicks. This is where I feel like people are kind of missing with this fight, and that's why we all kind of see it's one-sided. We don't actually think about that important aspect about how heavy of a hitter Justin Gaethje is, mixed up with how heavy Ilia Topuria is on that front leg. So if Justin Gaethje is able to break the base early in the fight, because I swear, Prates broke that shit early against JDM, and even Islam did too. Like, some of these boxers, when that base gets broken early, it's almost like they have nothing left. No chance. And to be fair with Ilia, he does have good counter punches like in the middle of his sequences, but he's not someone who can hop back and land a counter like a Conor McGregor. He's more like I'll counter when you try to throw and then I'll sit on it there. Pause. Hey, yo, brother. Stop. But he's more of like, he's not like a let me lean back and, you know, so if he does get his leg compromised, it's not like he could just lean back and just counter. He's just going to try to rely on the person coming forward and taking more attacks via their fist. And then he's going to try to counter them there. But what if the guy just continues to blast low kicks and then you start to fall and fold over yourself, man? Leg kicks win fights. And I'm starting to see nowadays boxers are starting to get exposed from low kicks, man. And they're starting to look almost like, why were you ever that good when you just can't take a low kick? You know, and I do feel like even though this fight, hypothetically speaking, is like a tough fight, or like an easy fight for Ilia. I remember once I said that like Islam Makhachev, the hardest fight for him on paper was Justin Gaethje. I said this about a year or two ago. Do I think it now? No, because he's in a different weight class. But I still think that like people who are heavy on their front leg, like Islam Makhachev, like Ilia Topuria, they're never going to have an easy fight with Justin Gaethje. Khabib was also pretty heavy on that front leg because most wrestlers or boxers, they fundamentally are going to be heavier on the front leg because that's their base. That's what they're used to doing. So I do think that Justin Gaethje is going to bring something that we might not expect to him to bring in the White House. Now, am I picking Justin Gaethje? I'm not delusional, brother. I might be a little bit ugly some days. I look handsome most of the time. But I'm not picking Gaethje to win. But after getting picks wrong that I really feel like I don't want to say it doesn't make sense, but I really shouldn't have got wrong. I have to start looking at the little things. Now, it's funny because with Hamza Strickland, even like I was getting told like, oh, Strickland's going to defend all those. But I was like, Strickland's probably not going to do that because against Dustin DDP, he was getting taken down and mauled and stuff. So with Strickland, I really couldn't even find like something important that he could do that like to beat Hamza. Like, yeah, sure. Now I'm thinking, like, in retrospect, I'd be like, oh, he's going to stuff all the takedowns and Hamza's just not going to shoot. And Hamza's not going to do this. And Hamza's not going to do that. But when I start to think about what someone else is not going to do, that feels like I'm doing a disjustice to the person. I never think of what someone's not going to do. So, yes, I got the Hamza fight wrong because I didn't expect Hamza to, like, fatigue. Like, there's some things I expected Hamza not to go through or not to do. I didn't expect him to have a bad weight cut. I didn't predict these shit. I didn't predict these things. With Justin Gaethje, Ilia, I'm not even looking at what Ilia's not going to do. I'm just looking at what Justin Gaethje does well and what Ilia Topuria does that I feel like can be exploited. And that's how I could already see a path to victory for Justin Gaethje. So that's already without even looking at if Ilia goes in with a bad weight cut, or if Ilia just had a bad day, or if Ilia doesn't let his hands go as much as he used to, or if Ilia is a little bit more tentative than usual because of the low kick. I didn't even think of that yet. So the fact that I could actually find a path to victory for Justin Gaethje before even looking at maybe Ilia might show up like this, it lets me know that this actually is a possibility. Will I still make a video about, oh yeah, how Ilia Topuria 100% will not lose to Justin Gaethje? I might do it. I might still make that video, but I'm not oblivious, unlike the other fights previously, I'm not oblivious to the fact that it's a possibility for Justin Gaethje to win. I feel like some people do that. Some people act oblivious, man. Like they're like, like you ask them a question, do you have any chance? No chance in the world. They just start saying shit and start acting like all, bow tie and suited up, but they don't really know what they're talking about. With this one, I see the vision before it happened. So I can't say that if what I'm saying right now, God forbid, by the way, that just would make no sense. But, well, I can't say it will make no sense. It just doesn't really click with me right now. But if Justin Gaethje does win, I could say, you know what? I'm not completely shocked because when I completely rule someone out and then they end up losing, like the Hamza lost did bad things. Like I swear I was so out of it, I was like, no way that just happened, and it hurts more. Like when you don't see it possible, like Izzy losing to Strickland and then Strickland losing, like beating Hamza. Like I swear, like those things I saw in no world to happen. So when it happened, it hurt, man. So I love Ilia, if you guys didn't know. He's one of my favorites, but I see the world that he could lose. Cocky guy. But even with all that being said, like I am glazing the low kicks and Ilia being heavy on that front leg. But honestly speaking, I still think Ilia's going to brutally knock him out just off the basis of Justin Gaethje being too sloppy in his exchanges, man. And even his low kicks, man. Knowing Ilia, he can time something as Justin Gaethje's throwing that low kick. He could do it. He could time something nicely. And just the fact that, like, this guy's young in his prime, and then Justin Gaethje's, like, one fight away from nearly dying in there. I think this is going to be his retirement fight as well. And Justin Gaethje been talking about retirement, too, even before the Paddy fight. He was talking about, yeah, to be honest, if I lose to this guy, I'm retirement, Like, he's having those conversations. And once you start having those conversations as a fighter, I feel like you start to mentally, degrade yourself because you're trying to mentally check out is the word. You're mentally checking out. I do think he almost mentally checked out against Paddy, but the reason I picked him to beat Paddy is because I knew Paddy wasn't great. And Paddy was even landing some shots on Gaethje. But that's also, Gaethje didn't throw the low kick. Like, Gaethje has to be Gaethje to make this fight not as one-sided as it probably is. And then if that can happen, then Justin Gaethje might do what nobody thinks is possible, might shock the world, and be a prime Ilia Topuria. And if that happens, like, it just shows you that anything's possible. And I know it seems like I'm riding for Justin Gaethje to win, or like I think is a possibility, which it is on paper, hypothetically speaking. But I really want to say, like, the odds this happens is very slim. Like, if I had to give a percentage-wise, like, probably like 1 or 2% that happens. Like, but it makes sense when I'm saying it out loud to a point where I can almost gaslight myself that it might happen. Hey, man, I could do it, Guys, I could actually gaslight myself and probably you watching that. Yeah, man, Gaethje gets it done. I think I'm good at gaslighting shit sometimes, you know. So even as I say this now, I'm like, you know what? Honestly, picking Gaethje is not even stupid. It's not stupid. It's just a little bit ugly. Like I feel like ugly people do it, like the cowabunga one. Like people who want to be a little bit too different. Yeah, man, I don't know. I see a world Gaethje leg kicks him right. And I'm gonna say this now, and like this is all just a plan to get the odds to change and throw the house on Ilia. Yeah, yes. We're trying to get the odds to change, baby. That's all this video was. It's like, no, that's not what the video was. But I do reckon that this actually is gonna like make people, say, you know what? Let me just throw like $10 to win 1,000 on Gaethje. I don't know what the odds are. I know the odds are crazy though, but they should be. But the odds should not be as crazy as like a Hamza Strickland or like a Izzy Strickland, because objectively there is a path to victory for Gaethje to win that is clearly there. And I feel like it could be exploited. And Gaethje has been against some of the best, man. He's been against boxers, man. Gaethje has been in there with Max Holloway's, you know. He nearly died in there, but he nearly died. Okay, just because you nearly died doesn't mean like he's been in there with the Maxes, though. And I will say Max took the low kicks well, too. That is something to, for some reason. And I picked Gaethje to beat Max, guys. Because I was thinking he's going to just low kick those chicken legs. But, yeah. He's been in there with Gaethje's. He's been in there. Gaethje's been in there with Max's. He's been in there with Dustin's. He's been in there with objectively good boxers and good strikers. But he gets it done. He gets it done sometimes. Like he did finish Dustin by going for the low kick, then going for the head. Something else we did see Ilia get caught with a head kick, by Jai Herbert. He could go for the legs. He could break the foundation, break the base, and go for the head and knock out Ilia with a head kick. There's ways for Justin, dude. There's ways. There's ways to the point that I clicked record on this because it was really like not bothering me, but it was really like, yo, why am I set on Ilia winning? And before this morning, I was really set on Ilia winning to the point where like I didn't really want to even consider Justin winning. I didn't want to do research and I didn't want to watch footage. And I still haven't watched footage because I'm going to do that right before I make the stylistic breakdown. That's going to happen the week of. But there's things I just haven't considered. We're less than a month away, guys. Less than a month away. So I do want people to start to have this. I don't want to say change your narrative, but this agenda that I'm pushing right now, it's not out of the realm of possibility. It might be for some people, but in general, why is it? Why would it be? We've seen Gaethje already go against some of the best boxers and beat some of them. We know Gaethje's best weapon is his heavy low kick and the power and the thudding, presence he hits with. And we know Ilia Topuria is one of those people who are heavy on the boxing stances and heavy on that front leg. And it can be exploited. And he has never went against someone who would exploit that problem of his as much as Justin Gaethje. This could actually be something that I don't know who I'm going to pick the more I talk, See it, but it sounds dumb. It sounds dumb, doesn't it? It sounds dumb to say, okay, I might go fucking Justin Gaethje. But it sounded dumb to me. The people who said Sean Strickland's going to win. It still is dumb. Because I'm going to be real, you're still stupid for picking that. So if you're over here like this, like smoking your cigar on your porch, bro, in the fucking South, like, dude, I called that, man. Shut up. Shut up, bro, with that stupid ass rocking chair, man. Don't be doing that. Because I know deep down you don't believe it. But the thing is, deep down, I acknowledge this possibility in this realm, in this world we live in. I acknowledge it, and I know it's possible. So I think that's what makes it a bit different for me, that I can see Justin Gaethje somehow cowabunga maxing his way here and getting the win. But like, I'm saying this, but I just envision Ilia with a stupid smirk, and he just said, trust me. That's what he just, Ilia just came, like, he just came in my head, Paul. I just said, okay, hold on. He just popped into my imagination, and I just saw his stupid smirk, and he said, trust me, I'm the best. Oh, and I believe him. I believe him, eh? He told me to trust him, and I do believe him. Hey, man, listen, I'm not, okay. I trust you, dude. I trust you. Stop. Get out of my head, bro. Get out of my head. This guy's just in my head yapping, bro. I'm not going to, get out of there. Nah, man. Listen, at the end of the day, I think it's a one-sided fight that can shock people. If Justin Gaethje exploits that weakness of Ilia Topuria as much as he should, that weakness of being heavy on the front leg, if Justin Gaethje trusts his low kick ability, do not do what you did against Patty and not throw low kicks in fear of getting taken down. Let Ilia take you down. You've been taken down by better people. So getting taken down by Ilia Topuria, who really hasn't shown us much when he gets on top of people in 155. He got on top of Charles and just ran away. Gaethje is pretty good at scrambling too, so it's not really easy to take Gaethje down and hold him there. So I think he should let those low kicks reign free. I think even some of his ugly, dirty boxing is not pretty, but sometimes he can land a heavy uppercut or land a heavy looping punch, and that could change the trajectory of a fight. And once you do break the base of a boxer, they start to overextend on a lot of their punches, and that leaves opening for counter punches that could actually help Justin Gaethje open up his hands later in the fight. Justin Gaethje can beat Ilia Topuria. It is a possibility. It's just something that's very unlikely, although possible. I still think the fight's probably 98-2 for Ilia Topuria. But I am saying if one man can shock the world, if one man can have us looking as clueless as we just looked in Hamza versus Strickland, that man is Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje could very well shock the world. Let me know what you guys think down below. That's it from me. God bless. 2, 3, 4.